This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to be taking a look at the G.I. Joe Classified series,
I was once a man.
Cobra Commander. There was a lot of issues surrounding getting this figure ordered, as I'm sure many people can attest to. I was lucky enough to get one. On the box here, though, the front, we've got this nice lenticular image for it, and it's covered in a clear plastic slipcase, which aside from having the "I was once a man" written on the back, offers us really nothing to go with the figure. So screw it. We don't need it on there right now. The lenticular here has 3 different images that you can see, and it is a vertical setup, so you have to tilt it back and forth, not side to side. Currently, it looks like on the camera we are seeing the masked Cobra Commander, which is kind of funny because I am looking at the unmasked version from my perspective. Let's go ahead and tilt it. Here we should have the unmasked Cobra Commander. And if we go back this way some more, looks like we get the full, almost full snake humanoid version. Also on the cover, we have one of the pods that they have the spores in if you saw the movie. We see Globulus on one side, Nemesis Immortal, as they're calling him now. We got Roadblock with the snake version, and honestly, I think it's a really bad version of Falcon on the other part. We get to this side, we see Snakehead Cobra Commander. We go this way, we see the helmeted Cobra Commander, or masked Cobra Commander. And does anybody know, is there actually a spot where you can find what all these different symbols mean? And on the back of the box, we basically have the same image from the front. I mean, this is the part that changes on it. And of course, this is figure number 130 in the line. All right, so also a feature of this box is when we open it up, we see the nice little display here. Oh, on this side, we see the scene where they actually have the action figure Cobra Commander trapped in the Cobra Law prison clamshell. We've got Globulus in his little flying thingy, and Nemesis Immortal there flying in the back. I had thought maybe they were going to have something like this inside of here when they first showed this image originally for the toy. That would have been really cool. They do in the background have that image though, or like this texture, so it kind of looks like that inner ickiness. And then the figure is displayed here with all of his parts. The main body, his little vest, broken mask, helmet head, snake form. It's kind of weird how he shrunk also. The extra hands, pretty much the same hands that came with our currently the Mickey Mouse version of Cobra Commander, because we haven't actually gotten the retro card back yet, which that'll be really glorious. Well, let's go ahead and get him out of the box. So, of course, in case you missed it, the helmet went flying across the desk. Or the mask. So, setting all the parts aside for the moment, Cobra Commander comes with his mutilated head intact. To a certain extent, I think it would have been kind of cool, though, if they'd given us the unaffected head. Either from before the spores hit him or just after the spores hit him. Well, let's go ahead and look at that head sculpt here. Got all the little eyes on there. Creepy. I wonder if he actually can see out of all of them or not. He's also got that really wide mouth, kind of going Jokerish there with the way the teeth are set up. I mean, it is a really glorious looking head sculpt. I think it's one of their best. Articulation wise, we of course have the general ball joint at the top so you can spin the head all around. Although in doing so, the neck is loose enough that it's moving as well. So let's get that forward again. Although in this case, it is really easy to tell what the front of the neck is because he's got the underbelly showing. We can look down and up and sideways, giving us nice full range. We got that G.I. Joe chicken neck going on where we have the joints at the top and the bottom of the neck that allow us to shake it like this. His vest looks like it's going to be really easy to take off as well, but we'll say that for later. We have a butterfly joint, so his arm can move back and forth. We've got a hinge, although it is really tight on this figure on that side. But we'll move the other side then. Bicep cut, so we can spin that all around. Our nice standard double joint in G.I. Joe Classified series. Spin at the wrist. Up and down articulation. Now what I'm kind of curious about real quick. Pull out his hand. The little top part of the glove comes off, so we have a fully cleaned arm. I know technically we did not see him with, or did we? I think what would have been kind of cool is if they'd given us, as one of the set of alternate sets of hands, they should have given us a snaky clawed hand. That would have looked really cool with this figure. He comes with an ab crunch. Ball joint at the waist so we can make him wobble. Like wibble wobbles wobble, but they don't fall down. We've got the drop down hip. Thigh cut so we can spin it. He can kick up pretty far. He can kick back only about that far. He can kick out. And he can practically do the splits. Oh. I want an action figure that can do the splits the other way, though. Of course, his little nice knife sheath on his thigh here just slides all over the place and doesn't stay on particularly well. And we got our double joint here at the knee. Ow! Ooh. I caught my thumb in it. We have a ankle cut. Not going to go with boot cut. Or, oh, okay. Let's go with, we've got a booty cut. Stirrups, I like those. And of course, the hinge at the ankle, as well as a peg, so we can spin the ankle all around. However, the low cut on the boot here does, or on the ankle, calf, whatever, does make it harder to do the spin because that wants to go as well. As mentioned before, since we can go ahead and pull his vest off. We got some nice back detailing there with markings of that would be on the hood of a Cobra, so that's really cool. That's a great detail that they've added to that. You got a nice booty. No crack though, unfortunately. Try and do one of those muscle poses. One of the accessories that comes with Cobra Commander is his helmet with a head. And I thought maybe the helmet would come off of the head, because the other accessory is, of course, this the inside of his helmet, or the face mask, which, okay, it's about the same size. But we got the electronic details in there and just a couple of the red lights, which might be like cameras or whatever, or the screens for a camera. It was kind of interesting to learn that this was not just a mirrored shield in the series, but actually a whole electronic setup. I'm just surprised because I felt like a lot of the images that they showed us kind of showed that the helmet, like you could have it set up so the helmet was partially lodged on there. Because there was the scene in GI Joe the movie where you saw the helmet on this head and the mask kind of hanging floppy on it before it falls off and floats away. But I guess you actually can't take the helmet off of there, so that's kind of disappointing. And to me, it feels like it makes this a little bit less useful. But the notch up here made me think that it would still fit kind of in there so you could recreate that scene. And I haven't actually looked at anybody else's reviews on this, but just messing around with it like I am right now is it does feel like it is glued in place. So yeah, so you can't do that scene. And that's kind of a disappointment. And I think we're all familiar with the standard Cobra Commander vintage style head. He's got his little backpack with his holster. And we've got his classic little gun. And it still does not have a blast effect capacity, which is kind of a shame. I would have thought they would have done that. But we can fit this in. Cobra Commander's got the most unique holster in all of G.I. Joe, I think. Which still fits on his back, which actually, like this, makes no sense because it should be attached to his uniform. Another thing with the detailing here, though, on the vest, as we've been calling it, is you can see all the darkened areas from where it's torn and been damaged. I mean, these are all really good details. The only thing that's a bit off is that the Cobra logo here is so smeared you can't make it out. It just kind of looks like a red blob. Now watch me not be able to get the vest back on. I have the same problem with Dal's. He also comes with his little knife, or I guess this is more of a dagger. The handle is painted slightly different with a little ball at the end being kind of a brass color. And that fits just nicely into his sheath, which I don't know if it's supposed to look like this, and I don't know if you're going to see it, but it looks like his sheath on this figure, at least, is actually squished at the bottom. And I don't think that's supposed to be like that. I don't remember it on the Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander that came with the his tank. We have an open hand, two fists, right and left. And we have the nose picking finger. But Cobra Commander here also comes with another figure, which is, of course, his even further mutated form. Sorry, Coco, let's get you out of the way. There we see that same hood and pattern that was on his back. Nice details here at the top for the skin tone. Big old wide mouth. He either does not have fangs or they are just slid up inside the top of the mouth for now. There is some articulation here. We can move the arm up and down a little bit. We can get it about that far up and that far back. Same with the other arm. But overall, the body is pre-posed. There is a cut here, but there is no actual jointing there. So now the thing is, we've all seen the images that they put out for this figure, where the snake can wrap around roadblock, but this is so tight. But let's go ahead and see if we can do it, because I have here the roadblock that looks the most like the one from G.I. Joe the movie. I mean, that does not look like that's going to fit around his waist very well. Because, I mean, the way you'd want to display this little snake thingy is going to be around Roadblock's waist. So this isn't going well. So this would seem to be as far as we can go with getting the snake to fit on Roadblock. Uh, that's kind of an uncomfortable fit, to be perfectly honest, and it still doesn't really look right to me. Now, what I think they should have done, I've already talked about how I wish they had put an extra head in there to make it look like more of the nobleman head for Cobra Commander, which would have been great to put on like the retro cardback version when it came out. But they didn't do that, so we won't be able to do that. However, the other thing that they should have done was given us a specific roadblock head to go with this. Because if you've watched the movie, you know that he got blinded on Cobra Law temporarily. So they had the whites of his eyes, or his eyes were fully white, including the pupils. And I think that would have been a great head to give us to plop on this body. But maybe G.I. Joe will, or Hasbro will put out with the G.I. Joe stuff, a roadblock on the retro card back that will go with the Snake Cobra Commander. Maybe not. And maybe that one will come with the second head for roadblock so it looks like he's been blinded. So, aside from this helmet not being able to come off of this mask and thus not allowing us to set it up so that we can show like the helmet on this head and the mask partially coming off and everything. Overall, this figure's not bad. Was it worth the drama to get it? Yeah, actually it was. But then again, I didn't have too much of an issue picking it up on the second run of sales. And I know a lot of other people did, but I think it is a nice addition to your collection. I do like that they gave us the extra snake also to go with the roadblock figure, though I think we need a better designed roadblock figure for it. However, this is pretty much how this is going to go back in my display, because he's got that really stupid looking weapon anyway. So until they give us a roadblock that will look exactly like the version in the cartoon, I'll stick with this one. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at the
This was once a man.
Cobra Commander. Let me know how your attempt to get him went. Feel free to give a subscription, share this video if you enjoyed it, and if you hated it, send it to somebody who you don't like and torture them with it. Since I mentioned earlier that even though it's not considered collector-friendly packaging, we can still put the stuff back in the package, let's rebox Cobra Commander. peace and love.